So we talked about co-pilots. Time to talk about autopilots. I'm sure you guys have kind of seen them. AI BDRs, some of them AI SDRs. I think more that's more of an inbound kind of notion, but really outbound sales agents. Here are some of the players in the space now, but again, new ones popping up every day. So I made this slide deck a few days ago and it's outdated. So happy to stay connected and kind of keep abreast of the new and innovative tech there. But what these do is that they have large data sets that identify accounts and contacts to target. Hint, ensure you have informed it of your ICP so it can narrow its focus. I would say it's better to aim small and miss small than kind of spray and pray. So it can gather baseline account and contact information. It can create and automate personalized outreach content through various channels, email, SMS, WhatsApp. Some are even venturing into phone, maybe regulations there to come. It can respond to prospects' questions quickly, and then with the goal of kind of scheduling meetings to drive pipeline. Some risks to consider, which again kind of goes back to my earlier point of identifying your tolerance to risk. Because of the volume of emails that these can send, if you don't put tight guardrails on them, there's risk to damage your email deliverability. If you have a small TAM, there's risk of harming your brand if you're just kind of spraying and praying throughout your whole addressable market. So really important to ensure that there's guardrails in place in terms of both the autonomy of these bots as well as kind of the volume of them. Really work on having precise targeting and messaging and have that be differentiated based off your ICP and maybe the different segments within that. Not all segments are the same. They care about different things. And then given the nature of outbound's been hard. It has been hard. It was hard. It is hard, and it will be hard. So just setting expectations, and then one certain triggers go off, ensure that you can have an efficient avenue to bring a human in the loop. So whether that's like 3 questions they're showing, or 3 responses, 1 response, they're showing engagement. Identify when the right time is to kind of bring yourself into the conversation to help kind of expedite that. I would say if you sell low ACV products and you have a large TAM, and especially for if you're targeting small businesses, this might be a good solution to consider. If you're going up market, if you're looking for mid-market and enterprise businesses, so most likely higher ACV, this is going to be a little bit more difficult and maybe a consideration factor you should think of. These enterprise companies have large buying committees. Multi-threading is needed to succeed. So if you have a lower TAM and selling really high value contracts, you might not want to spray and pray your whole TAM. So something to consider if you're kind of very transactional business, this might be good to help kind of automate the process.
To what you just mentioned just now is a great point, as well as the last bullet point about humans in a loop. Have you noticed any trends in terms of whether or not people or companies are adopting these AI agents in lieu of bringing on board team or scaling their like human team, for lack of a better word, or are you seeing more of just still retaining, let's say, human SDRs or BDRs, but also supplementing them with these AI agents? Have you noticed any trends around adoption of these tools?
Yeah, I think that's something really interesting, and it's still early on, so it's hard to exactly pinpoint. I have seen it's almost these work well with prioritization. So maybe instead of hiring 10 more BDRs to focus on the SMB segment, you're going to have your existing sales team focus on mid-market enterprise, ones with higher ACVs, and then you're going to augment your small business segment that you're targeting with these autonomous agents. So have the agents focus on the lower value target, maybe which has a wider kind of customer base, and then instead augmenting there, and then having your actual humans focus on the higher value ones. So still a little bit of a mix. And, we've seen some studies that they might be generating a lot of pipe, not a lot of closed won. Other studies that they have done closed won. So it kind of really depends on how transactional your product is, how much explanation is it to need, how much you have to educate your prospects on the value and for them to learn the value, or is it kind of glaringly obvious? So I think those are all kind of consideration factors there. If you're selling a really complex product, I don't think an AI BDR is going to close won a bunch of deals. You're going to need humans there.